Hi everyone. I'm really happy that I'm here, and Argyro, thank you for the invitation. I don't know how many of you have already started something, a business of your own, or are you planning to? You are okay. So probably you totally get the feeling and you understand that it is actually an adventure. This is exactly what Argyro said. At first, I think it feels something like that. For me, I studied archaeology. I didn't like archaeology at all afterwards, so I studied museology and cultural management, which was something I found much more interesting and creative. Afterwards, I got my license as a tourist guide. At that point, and that would be in 2013, an idea started to become more, to get shape. I had a few thoughts the previous years, I had a few ideas, but it was not actually that clear to me how I was going to make it reality. So in 2013, I started thinking about that it would be better if I could try to combine all these topics and all these studies and all these fields, different fields. So I had to find a way to do that. At that point, I was feeling like that. I wanted to do something. I needed to do something on my own. I had already collaborated and worked for many years with museums and other cultural institutions and so on. But as you probably all know, culture is not that easy to deal with in Greece. So I was not happy. I needed to start something on my own, but there were many buts and what ifs. There were many questions, and I was feeling really ambiguous about should I do it or not? Should I be? Do I have? I mean, the strength? Do I have the qualities to do that? On the other side, I felt that okay, if I am not going to do this now, then I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this never. So it was a strange, let's say, period of my time. And then I know it now. I didn't know it back then. That was the phase of ideation. During that phase, what someone is doing, he's trying to develop and generate the idea. He's trying to figure out, at least in a way, what he wants to do, what he likes to do. And then it is very, very important. I mean, it is one of the most important things. No matter what we say here today, I think that building a team, the team and evaluation are the two words that I will keep repeating. Because after all these years, for me, the team and evaluation are the most important, let's say, aspects of entrepreneurship. Market research as well. It is nice, we all have ideas, we have many ideas, we want to do many, many things. But it is really important to know where we are going. It is really important to do our research first, to see if the market wants that. Because if the market doesn't want that, then my idea was nothing. I mean, afterwards, you need that because you have to build your business model. And you cannot decide and build your business model unless you have done your research. And this is a creative process. But this is also a very vague process. You still don't know clearly where you're going. But these factors are the ones that are going to help you and show you the way. So at that time, the idea became more, let's say, clear to me. I wanted to start a cultural company which would offer cultural activities and mostly alternative themed walking tours in Thessaloniki. At that time, in November 2013, it was something new and innovative for the city. There were no other groups doing such activities, and I strongly believed that walking tours should change. They should change the way they treat culture, they interpret culture, and the way they treat people and tourists. They actually treat tourists and not like visitors. So I strongly believe that it could be possible to let's say, create a team and organize and first of all design innovative walks, more let's say fun, more educational, and one should understand that we are not always dealing with archaeologists and scientists, because people won't understand you, and you probably won't keep them for a long time if you don't speak in their language. So those were, let's say, the basic motives. It was really difficult for me to find people to support this idea and start it together. However, after a while, we built a team. We were five women, and we decided that we should give it a try. We were archaeologists, museologists, tourist guides, historians. So we started the company in November 2013. And that would be the next step, because after knowing what you're going to do, then you need the big idea. You need to have a vision, and you need to share this vision with other people. If you do not share the vision, then you are not going to go anywhere together as a team. And of course, you need a strategy. All these were things that back at that time were not actually that clear to us, to the whole team. I mean, we knew, based on our studies and cultural management, etc., that we were supposed to do it with organization, to be more precise, etc. But it was not very easy at that time to write all these things down. The difficult thing is also to be able to communicate your idea. No matter what I have in my mind, if I am not able to communicate it to others, and first of all to my future partners, I will not be able to go any further. So it is really important when you have the idea and build it and develop it and write everything down, then you should be able also to communicate it with other people. It is really important because people are not going to believe that they can build a team with you. They are not going to believe in it unless you believe it yourself. And not only believe it, you know what you're doing. And I think that this is one of the main reasons that the most ideas remain just ideas. That they cannot find, let's say, the people to believe in them and work with them. So one can stand alone with his idea and actually won't manage to go any further. And evaluating everything, which is the most important. I know now that it is the most important, because it is like you keep running and running and running, and sometime, if you don't stop to see, okay, where am I now, where am I standing, what am I doing, you won't be able to understand and clear it in your mind where you're going. And I think this is really important. So we started working, and at first it was like so many things that had to be done. From that time, it is very, very easy to lose control and just work, because you need to have things done. So it is very, very easy to forget evaluation. Once you are ready, and the team is ready, and you've already created the product, you've already arranged everything, let's say that the firm is already settled, then you have to be able to see the product and market fit. And this has to do with evaluation again, because, okay, we've done our market research. We're supposed to have done it, I mean, in the very, very beginning. But we still need to check if our product fits the market. Because if it doesn't, then we will probably create something that we are going to love, we are going to like it, our partners also, maybe our families and friends, but the market doesn't need it. And also the model and market fit. If our business model actually can work within this market, which is also very, very important. Evaluating everything again. No matter what you do, in every step and in every stage of building and creating, let's say, the company, the team, the product, you should stop and see what are you doing. And adjust. Because if you evaluate, then you will probably need to adjust. And adjusting is not a bad thing. It is a very necessary thing. And it can come only after evaluation. And after you have done all these steps, then you can launch. We didn't actually do all the steps. Not in this way, not in this order. And we launched, and everything was going great. We had a very, very positive reaction. The city loved what we did. The press was also very interested in our work. We had many interviews and magazines and TVs and newspapers, and let's say it was, we did well. We started well. We made our presence very, very obvious, and our purpose also. And this is the time that when you enter the market and you start to get all the feedback and you have the first customers, it is really exciting. However, this is after you launch, this is the time that you have to work even harder, because marketing and communicating your work, I mean, it is almost important as much as to begin with, the beginning of it. So it is really important because you also need money, and marketing is expensive. It is really hard and difficult to find the money to advertise yourself, to advertise your product, but we were lucky because we were actually with almost a minimum budget. We gained the attention of the people of Thessaloniki and the press, so it was a little bit easier for us. What I personally think that could be probably a mistake is that we believed that okay, since we have all the attention that we need and we have all this press and people coming and visiting us and customers, then maybe we don't need to spend money on marketing, which I think it is wrong. But on the other hand, there were not so much money to create a very, very solid and new marketing plan. Again, you need to evaluate. You need to evaluate your work. You need to evaluate the way you've launched, what things you could have done different, maybe. And you need to evaluate also the customer experience. You need to get the feedback, and feedback is very, very important. Not all people are going to tell you, okay, it was a nice walk, but I think it lacked a certain amount of information, or I didn't find it interesting. But some of them will, and this is going to make you better. Then adjust again and repeat. This is how it works when you launch. So after a while, after let's say 2 years, we were going well, but on the 3rd year, that would be the time then that the company should have scaled up, according to my opinion, according to some other members' opinion, but we should have scaled up. Because when you gain all this attention and you have so many customers and you are going well, then after 3 years, I think it's time to scale up, and you have to grow. You have to find sources to support your work, or to expand your work, or to offer something else. But you need to scale up. Otherwise, you remain at the same level, you remain stable, and sooner or later this will turn up against you, because people are going to get bored. There were also other working groups, groups that had created walking tour companies. The competition was bigger than before, than when we had started, so we needed to grow. This means that actually maybe you have to reorganize and check again, examine again your business plan, which is something not very easy to do. It is very difficult to do, and as I've told before, it is actually a need that will come out from evaluation. If you don't evaluate, then you won't realize that you have to adjust and change your business plan, change your direction. You won't be able to move towards growth. So that was the time that a pivot was necessary. And the pivot, I don't know if you heard the word before. At some point, at first, a few years ago, pivot was considered as something negative for a company. If a company needed to pivot, then this would mean that it was not going well. However, this is something that it has changed, and in fact, it is more of an obligation than a matter of choice for a company, for a startup, to pivot. I prefer to, let's say, interpret pivot as reimagining your assets and talents. It is as if it is like when maybe someone doesn't have a work, he's not working for many, many years, he cannot find a job. So at some point, he has to stop, evaluate, and then to try to see what else he can do. What are his talents, what are his abilities, or how he is going to combine them. Maybe someone has taken dances lessons, which actually, okay, if you think about it, no one, if I'm not going to be a dancer, then it is of no use. But you never know. Everything that you do, this is what I believe personally, that everything that you do in life, lessons, activities, friends, mistakes, I don't know, everything will lead you somewhere. So a pivot is necessary, and that was the time that I decided to leave the company. Because if I was not feeling that the company was about to scale up soon, or we were not going to pivot, then I needed to pivot myself. And that would be a very, very difficult decision, of course. It was not very easy, but it was necessary. Otherwise, probably I wouldn't be let's say, punctual to my idea and my vision, and that is okay. I mean, people can leave companies, people can leave teams, and that is okay. So I decided to leave, and after a while, after almost a couple of months, I had already my new project started, which is in the loop. I'm about to be so concerning the scale up. These are a few things that I actually realized, and a few things that came out from my research and from my previous experience. I thought that something had to be done with a modern traveler, because modern travelers are totally different than the people that we used to know. And I'm writing traveler, but I actually, the modern traveler is more like a visitor. And he's digitally adept to all available online and mobile tools. And all these things actually all came out of the experience through 3 years walking tours, and many people actually from different countries that had visited Thessaloniki, after discussing with them and after actually seeing, being able to see what they are asking. They actually know their way around everywhere they go. It is very easy nowadays to discover a city, to see it by yourself, to meet people. There are many tools that can help you not to get lost. So he is not afraid, this kind of traveler. He is not so introvert, and that would make him more keen and demanding. He can have much more things than before. He can have, he has a variety of products to choose, so he is more demanding. But he still wants humanity back in his travel experience, because technology and human experience are things that maybe one could think that at first cannot be combined. How can you combine technology with humans? So this is what I believe and think are the 6 main, let's say it is the core of creating a memorable city experience for me. And based on them, I decided to build and create in the loop. Easy. Everything needs to be done easily for someone who travels, who visits the city. It doesn't matter if he comes from USA or if he comes from Athens. Everything has to be easy. Our life is already so difficult that when we travel and when we visit a city, we need things to get done easily. So one should not get lost. Fun. It's all about fun. We need to enjoy our stay. We need to find new places. We need to discover new spots. We need to come in contact with the city and its people. And this should be fun. And it becomes fun only if no one pushes me to, okay, come on, now you have to do this, you have to do that, now it's time that we leave. No, I need to follow and keep my own pace. Affordable. Many products, many services, many choices, so it makes it a little bit difficult for someone to compete within the travel industry. But this is right. I mean, who doesn't want to spend 1 week in a foreign country, in a city, and come back with some extra money in his pocket. You don't need to spend everything just to be happy and have fun. Immersive. For me, it is very important. For example, when I travel, I look for local experiences. I don't want to see only the tourist attraction. Yeah, I need the local stuff. I need the local vibe. And this is what makes it more immersive for me. Immersive meaning that I actually dive in the city's culture. Anthropocentric, it is important because anthropocentric means that you can have something immersive, you can have something fun, can make things easier, and sometimes affordable. Anthropocentric, which means that I need to come I need to know, to get to know the local vibe and the people who work there. How do people in Thessaloniki live? How do they work? What do they think about the city? How it is to be living in and working or creating a business in Thessaloniki. This is important and educational also, and very important because it is very easy to have access in any kind of information using the internet and the web, but still the information that you have to get, to receive during your trip should be both interesting and accurate. There are many people, for example, who travel, they just book a walking tour and they follow a guide, but they don't actually know if that person can be knows the right things, or you don't know if what you are hearing and what you are listening it's true or false. This is what I started to build in June, 1 year ago. We created an app that actually it is offering all these people, these visitors, the chance to discover the city on their own. But and this would be actually the most difficult, and this is actually my purpose and the challenging thing, how an application, a travel application, can be at the same time anthropocentric and actually offer a more intimate and human experience. Since someone he's probably traveling alone, or maybe 2 people or 4 people, let's say. How I will make them to feel at home? How can I make them feel happy? And how can I bring them in touch with the local community? I will explain you how. This is our landing page. We are about to launch with only 3 routes, 3 different routes. The first version. You can choose your route. You can choose whether you want to try in the loop first, probably you will. Welcome loop. So it is free and you can walk around, see the content, see if you like it, see how it works, and then you can choose, you can decide whether you can use more routes or not. Welcome loop is actually a shorter route that offers our visitors the chance to walk in the city center, see a few basic things and landmarks. I won't leave the White Tower out of it, of course. I won't leave Kamara out of it. So I needed a loop to welcome him. Afterwards, if you, let's say, decide to download the art loop, you're about to take a walk around artistic spots, museums, galleries, and creative spaces. You're about to meet artists. You're about to meet people who actually decided to stay here, not let's say go to Germany or somewhere else. They decided to stay here and open a gallery, which is really strange. You're in Thessaloniki, but there is so I believe that there is so much creativity still, and many things that one could find here. And art is not something like you hear often about Thessaloniki. You actually hear about how beautiful it is, the sun, the sea maybe, the archaeological museum, the White Tower, and how well can you eat. But there is also contemporary art and artists and people who still live here and create. What I'm trying to offer is a full experience, which means if I was about to take you for a walking tour and I would guide you through our walking tour, I would probably say, okay, now this is a nice spot to stop for a coffee or for a snack or something. So I would know. I know which is a nice place to stop. I know which is a nice concerning quality and people and price. So this is what I'm trying to do here. No matter what the themed route is, I also use a few spots, refueling spots, where I suggest that you can go. This is a nice place for a coffee. This is a nice place where you can shop something beautiful. This is a place where you can eat something. So I want to create the full experience so that he actually doesn't need the guide. Once you've downloaded the route and you see the summary of it, it is very easy to use. We tried to make it as much easier as possible. On the summary, once you tap on the spot, then you can see it and discover it fully. This is something to give you an idea of how we create our content, because content is also very, very important. We don't use content taken from other sources. We have a photographer, we have our own pictures, we create our own videos, we create our audio narratives if we believe that this can help. We try to avoid long texts because I don't want someone to stay in front of camera or inside the rotunda. I don't want him to miss reality and the real thing because he is in there. I just want him to have all the information that he needs to be able to discover it on his own. Then, what do I have to do? I have to give him all this information for sites like Rotunda, in another way. So I use videos and I use audio narratives. Storytelling. Storytelling is very important. I have to find in every place a way to tell a story and tell it in a way that it is interesting. And this has to do with the way I build the information, the way I choose to build my narration. And of course, I always try to find and keep the connection between the past and the present. For example, Navarino Square. If we are in Navarino Square, we know probably the long story, the Roman past, and Galerius, and all that stuff. Okay, this is important. I will offer this information, this kind of information. But the interesting thing is that how Navarino Square is actually what do people today think and how do they use Navarino Square? They are going to be singing and drinking beers, δίπλα από τα αρχαία που λέμε, but they actually don't know where they are singing and drinking beers. And it is a very, very nice and interesting way to mix information about the city's past and present, so that we can all understand and get an idea of the different meanings that each side and each spot of the city got throughout the years. How was I planning to make it more personal? How could I bring in contact the community with the visitors? If someone is wandering around wearing his headphones and using his iPhone, this doesn't mean that he wants to be left alone, after all. He wants company. And the important thing for me is to bring him in contact with the right people. Who are the right people for me? Businesses and people who are friendly. We are locals, we know places that we like, and we know places that are friendly. We also know places that would probably not suggest someone to visit because we don't like the way they treat us. This is important for me. This is a major, let's say, motive for me to collaborate with all these people. Friendly people and creative people. And I also believe that, that there is a story behind every place, every spot, no matter if it is a bar, if it is a tavern, if it is a, I don't know, there is a story behind it. And this is what I'm trying to do. So what do I say with collaborating businesses? I say, okay, now I'm doing this. I don't know how it is going to work. I don't know if it is going to work. I don't know if I will succeed or fail, but we can give it a try. And I need to find a way to create a win-win situation for everyone, for me, for my user, and for you, the business. So I tell them, okay, I don't want money or any percentage or anything, but I want you to offer a special discount to the user. So he will be able to visit you, he will feel special, and he will actually earn something. And this is something that they like. I like it, they like it, so I think it can work very well. Because no one actually risks anything, and they can do it. So I always advise the user, they know from the very first time that they download the app that they get special coupons that offer them discounts. So maybe they download the Night Loop, and Night Loop has almost 15 spots inside. Then he knows that he can have probably an extra drink in every spot. Apart from that, I give them the whole story behind the people. We take them pictures, we interview them before we write our text and all our content. And we pick the most interesting information so that when someone, the user, visits them, he already knows them, he knows some things, a few things about them, and these guys are actually expecting him, so they know that he can go inside and say, hi Rodolphos, I'm from in the Loop, I will sit here and have a drink with you. And these guys know it. Οπότε, it is very easy. It was very difficult to create this coupon. However, it took us only 6 months, but we actually found a way to make it work. So each spot, whether it is a cafe, a museum, or whatever, has its own special code. So when the user comes in, he asks for his code and then he can redeem his coupon. It is very easy. Of course, I want him to ask questions. I'm not there to guide him, but I try to find a way to make it a little bit more personal. So if you are in Rotunda and even if you've read the text, you heard the audio, you saw the videos, you even visited the extra links at the end, and you still have questions, then you can still send an email and we can answer it. And this is our team. We are many people. We work well. We work fast, even if it has already taken us almost 1 year. And hopefully, we are launching in less than 1 month. So, thank you.